Greetings and welcome to the Dr. J Vlog series. It's Sunday, July 13th, 2025, and on Sundays we talk about the purpose and meaning of life. Did you miss me? A little bit late getting this out today, but hey, it's still Sunday, so here we are. And so this week's vlog theme is energy. Energy, that's my singularly favorite topic, because energy lies at the core of all of existence, at least as far as I can tell from my vantage point as a human being. So simply put, everything then in the universe possesses energy of some kind or another, and usually multiple forms simultaneously. So every physical object and every aspect of the universe then contains energy and vibrates accordingly. Sure, many of the vibrations and the movements are well beyond our eyes' capacity to observe, because many forms of physical matter, much of the movement that's occurring in the universe occurs at the atomic and subatomic levels. And yet, all of physical reality is constantly in motion, behaving, giving off light and energy to varying degrees. Sure, you can personally be standing still, right, as a human being, feel like you're not moving, but of course you're still in motion at many different levels. Again, in terms of the physical aspects and processes going on in your body at the biological level and the chemical reactions, but also all the way, including just being on the planet. And the planet, of course, is constantly circling the sun, okay, and so on. So, and we all exercise all kinds of different energy at different levels of behavioral complexity and informational complexity to simply be alive, to exist, and to experience daily living. So to me, the purpose and meaning of life at the most fundamental level then relates to the question of what we're doing as human beings, what we're going to do, what we're planning to do, and how we're going to expend the energy that we have while we're living as human beings in this form, while we're here in this bodily form for however many years we might be granted. And so to that end, I thought one way to spend some of my energy productively would be to produce a vlog series, which I officially launched, as many of you know, on January 1st of this year. Now we've passed the halfway point of the one vlog each day of the year. And I've uploaded well over 200 videos in total to my channel. And specifically, this is video number 191 in the Dr. J vlog series. So that means that with 345 total subscribers, at least as of July 13th, then later on this year, I'll have the equivalence of roughly one video per subscriber. So yes, you can each have your own personal vlog from yours truly. It's signed, sealed, and delivered. So the serious point is that obviously there's not a huge market for what I'm doing. I know it takes time. Perhaps the market is just too saturated. Perhaps it's just the quality or lack thereof. Who wants to listen to a 60-something-year-old professor like myself? What kind of an impact could I possibly have in this world? So I thought perhaps I could inspire some folks with the lessons I've learned over a lifetime. And more specifically, I thought maybe as a result of my near-death experience that this might inspire a broader membership, shall we say, or viewership of some kind. But I think that's just a conceit on my part, right? To think that somehow my messaging would be, unique or different or somehow important. Not that it's unimportant, but let's face it. I mean, I'm just one of, as I've said before, one of 8 billion people, more than 8 billion people. And we only have so much time and energy that we can devote online or to whatever endeavors. So anyway, I just thought I would give a public voice to some of the knowledge and wisdom that I've acquired over the last 6+ decades, the last 4 of which have been spent in universities teaching and researching, etc., as a professor. So all of which is to say, I'm going to be cutting back on the vlogs, and that is to say, keep them shorter and more focused with briefer messages and hopefully key insights as the focus. So I'll still do the occasional deeper dive, but unless the demand picks up, there's really no need for me to be doing 20 to 25 minutes each day, right? These vlogs take at least a couple of hours to prepare and then, of course, record. I don't do any editing, as you well know. And sometimes it takes as much as a half a day, that is about 4 hours, to get a single vlog up. So given my viewership, I guess what I'm saying is I think I'd be better off just offering personal counseling of an hour a week to each of you who are interested, if you're a regular viewer. And we could probably get more accomplished in an hour conversation than I could posting these 20-minute vlogs. But in any event, so the point is, I have a finite amount of energy, as we all do, right? And so we all have to make decisions then about where we're going to choose to focus the lion's share of our energy. And so for me, professionally, most of my energy continues to go into my research and my writing. I've got this book deadline that I've missed, but I hope to have my next book finished by the end of this month. It's a book on terrorism. I'll talk about that another time if you're interested. And yeah, so I do my research and my writing. That's where I focus most of my professional energy. And then, of course, my university teaching for a couple of semesters each year, and a few other smaller professional commitments. And then on the personal side, now that the children are grown, like when they were younger, we spent an inordinate amount of time parenting, sometimes successfully, sometimes less so, but we tried. So we spent all kinds of hours on the parenting side of things. But with the kids being grown now, there's far less energy. I don't have to really do that I have to expend on parenting. I don't have to do too much in that regard. In fact, sometimes they're doing more of the parenting towards us, giving us advice and help and assistance and so on. But that's another story. But instead, I can spend my time on the side personally doing, creating music or doing. I like to do the volunteer gigs for once or twice a month for, the downtrodden, the homeless, the needy, shall we say, so the local food pantries and so on. I do that sort of thing, and I try to still be a decent husband and look after other family affairs and household affairs as best I can. So yeah, we all have our different obligations, and again, all of those obligations, however you define them, wherever you devote your energy, that's the key. I mean, that defines your existence, shall we say. But in terms of the YouTube channel and the content and viewership, I'm spending a lot of time then, or at least I've done this little experiment for the last 6+ months, to create the vlog series, and it's not really having much of an impact. I know it's still early. You could say, well, yeah, it takes a few years to develop a viewership and so forth. And that's true. But I think also part of the problem has to do with the nature of the focus. And that is to say, I've given this some thought and done some research, and bottom line, simply put, I'm not offering one of the 3 Ps in terms of my content. So what are the 3 Ps? All right, what would you guess them to be? Any ideas? If you guessed a P for politics, you'd be correct. That's one of the big 3, as I call them. So people have their go-to sources for their discussions and their current events and world affairs and much more. Usually they'll focus in on channels that align with their particular perspectives or that make them feel good about themselves and their politics and that sort of thing, right? So we all have our own kind of political tribes, and we have our own personal and cognitive biases, and we like to have the stuff that we believe in reinforced, generally speaking. So if you're going to go to political channels, or even directly or indirectly that have a lot of political content, you're probably going to spend most of your time looking at people and listening to discussions and podcasts, that sort of thing, with people that align with your perspective politically. So that's a big one. The second big P is, I got to say it, porn. That's right. In fact, the research seems to suggest that as much as a third of all the materials that are downloaded off the internet involve pornography, directly or indirectly. And as much as a quarter of the searches on a daily basis are related to porn. And the mega site Pornhub, it's estimated gets over 100 million views daily. So yeah, if I were making porn, I could probably generate much greater viewership, although that might not be true in my case. But I'm just, as a general category, it seems to work. And then the third P is products, more generally, right? That is all of the other consumable stuff that we order online, that we consume, the physical stuff that gets delivered to our houses or whatever, to all of the different services that we take advantage of, right? Just booking tickets online, or buying, going to see a concert, or hiring somebody to haul your trash away, or whatever, right? There's a million things that people go online for, and so in that regard, again, my YouTube channel is not focused then primarily on the 3 Ps: politics, pornography and products per se. The Dr. J vlog series instead deals with the themes, other themes that, like today's, the purpose and meaning of life. Well, math and stats, music and the arts, emotional well-being, science, human behavior, sports, and sometimes humor. Okay? So it's not all that political, and it's not all that sexy. And I don't really have much in the way of products or other services to sell you, just knowledge and information, and perhaps some wisdom. So if interested, then tune in this week for much shorter daily vlogs on this week's theme, energy. Again, from one of the 7 different vantage points associated with each of the unique daily themes that we cover here, that I just mentioned. And so today's takeaway message then would be quite simple, and it's the following. We all have a finite amount of time on this planet as human beings. And the single most important decision we have to make is how we're going to expend our energy while we're here. So to my mind, that decision ultimately then boils down to what we envision as the purpose and meaning of our life. What's our life's mission? And that's where we should be focusing our energy. So I'm going to close then with this 3 brief but general questions to consider in thinking about your own energy expenditures. So first, and you're thinking about your life's mission and how you're going to spend your energy, would you rather help as many people as you can in this lifetime, or hurt as many people as you can, or at least those that you don't like? Is that your main focus? Do you see your life as being focused on helping as many people as possible? Or do you narrow the scope of whom you want to help? And indeed, are there people that you want to be hurting with your energy? Second, do you want to take other people's time, or do you want to give them your time? And third, are you interested in making money and gathering as many resources as you can for yourself and your kind? Or would you rather share as much as you can with others, not just in your family, but in the broader community or the world at large? These are not either or propositions. All of us fall somewhere along a continuum. Sometimes we can be more selfish, sometimes more selfless, and so on. But I offer those 3 questions, among many other possible questions, just to help sort of establish your basic orientation in life. Okay, this covers a lot of ground in terms of how you see yourself and what you plan to do with your energy. So I'm obviously in no position to tell you or anyone else what to do in that regard. That's not my purpose. That's not my function. But all I can do is continue to share knowledge and information to the best of my limited ability as one of more than 8 billion souls currently hanging out on planet Earth. So if interested in what I have to offer, then starting tomorrow, Monday's vlog on math and science, I'll be offering much briefer daily vlogs with very specific takeaway messages. So the message again today: focus your energy, commit your finite amount of time and energy to those endeavors that align with your life's mission. That is your understanding of the purpose and meaning of life. And in the meantime, as ever, may you and yours continue to create peace in your lives, nurture love in your hearts, and dole out hugs in abundance, and more on energy in tomorrow's vlog.